Welcome to the Pacific Championship Series postseason, where we're about to witness two legendary teams in second and third place between Megabank Beyond Gaming and Machi Esports take to the Rift. These two teams are only 2 steps away from making their way all the way into Worlds, but can they do it? It all starts here as we're going to get a debut for BYG. Before we go deeper into the series though, first a big thank you to our sponsors, CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chonghua Telecom, and of course Caliber, our newest addition here. I'm going to be your host and play-by-play for the day. My name is Clement Chu, and with me along the ride is Nightstar. How are you doing, man? What are you looking forward to in this series?
Yesterday I said I was really excited for this series, and of the 2 best of 5s we're getting this week, I would definitely say this is probably the more contested one. However, by how much is definitely still left to be answered, because if you kind of compare these teams, it is kind of similar to what we saw yesterday in that both of these teams definitely have similar strengths to teams that we saw take the Rift yesterday as well.
Yeah, overall this split, it has been Beyond Gaming taking down Machi 3-0. But if you look at Spring Split, it actually went all the distance, especially in the upper bracket where lower bracket, where Beyond Gaming actually only inched through with a 3-2 scoreline and go up against PSG in the finals. So, there's a lot of history between these two teams. Megabank, of course, the upcomers, and Machi, the squad that has been with us through the LMS through a very, very long period of time. If you don't know where we are on the bracket right here, we are playing Due 4 today, and if you look all the way, whoever makes it into finals will then go on to Worlds. So we're only 2 steps away, if these teams can find both wins, to being sent as representatives to the PCS.
Yeah, so this is definitely a big series for both teams, as it would put them in a showdown against PSG. And even if you do lose that one, which I think a lot of us kind of expect PSG to take that next series, but you would go into the lower bracket finals, and it just makes your journey a lot easier to try and get back into grand finals.
For sure, and this is the thing about when you have upper bracket and sort of lower bracket situations, is the team that wins all the time, they don't get a second chance when they go into finals. So I think of the teams that go into U5, they could actually use that as sort of a scouting experiment. There's actually a lot of leeway for them, and for either Megabank Beyond or Machi, I don't think there's, the winner here is not going to get a lot of contest from the other teams here. That's personally my opinion. I'm not sure if you feel that way, Nightstar. Yeah, if you look at the other teams, these teams really haven't found that many wins against Megabank Beyond Gaming and Machi. Machi has only lost 4 games this split, and those 4 games have only been to PSG and Megabank Beyond Gaming. While Megabank Beyond Gaming, they dropped 2 extra games to Boom Esports and Hong Kong Attitude, but they didn't lose to Machi whatsoever. So it does look like whichever team comes out here, they are going to be at least kings of the lower bracket. As we do move on to Megabank Beyond Gaming's roster, they do have a duo in the top lane between Liang and PK. Today it will be the fighter-centric Liang taken to the Rift, Husha in the jungle, Malwan mid lane, and Dago Kino in the bottom side.
Very familiar roster, of course. Neither of these teams really play around too much with their rosters, except for the Liang PK dynamic. But really, if Megabank Beyond Gaming do want to hit that international level, it is going to be with Liang rather than PK. He's a very stable top laner, but he's not going to bring the extra highs that a player like Liang can.
I definitely have to agree with you on that one. Liang was one of the big factors that took the team over Machi. As we take a look at their side, Alika in the top lane, Gemini the veteran, Jimian the new upstart mid laner, star player coming in from Machi, and Atlan and Koala rounding out the bottom lane.
Yeah, and if you liken Megabank Beyond Gaming to PSG as far as playstyle, where they throw a lot of resources into that bottom lane, well, Machi, they're very similar to J-Team. They've got a pretty similar early game rating. They also don't really play around this bot lane whatsoever. And it's really just about Gemini and GMM being able to channel a lot of their power to then help out some of these side lanes.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Machi is pretty much a 1-3-1 team with a specialty for Silas and Camille coming in on their side. Megabank Beyond Gaming, I would say, has really broadened the styles that they can play this split. We've seen a lot of viruses from them. We've seen a lot of front-to-back team fight. They are the team that has grown the most out of any of the PCS teams, even considering something like Liep. We're going to be taking a look at the stats right here. Much better first blood rate, much better first tower rate, and win rate at red side is 100% for them, compared to only the 62% coming out from Machi.
Yeah, and for it seems like a really odd stat, given that Machi, of course, do play around their solo laners, and if you are a solo lane focused team, you should be a bit more successful on red, at least in being able to secure counter pick for your lanes. But again, like Machi, they've only had 4 losses, or 5 if you count the tiebreak, and it has been to the elite teams in Megabank Beyond Gaming and PSG. So it's definitely understandable if you factor that context in. And the big difference is just how these teams take their tempo. Machi, of course, I mentioned earlier, early game rating, very, very comparable to J-Team. But the stat that really emphasizes this more is just the first 3 tower percentage. Megabank Beyond Gaming, they tend to take first 3 towers on the map 84% of the time. Machi, only 58%.
Yeah, if we're talking about early game and how they can snowball, Megabank Beyond Gaming definitely has the upper hand here. Take a look at the bans, though. It doesn't seem like that. They're actually taking away most of the early game weapons from Machi in the LeBlanc, Trundle, and the Varus. On the other hand, Machi going to take away the Rise and Aphelios. So very different trajectories in these bans.
Yeah. There is so much to digest here, because you have Viego left available, you have Gwen left available, you have Thresh left available. Machi should be able to get Ziggs for themselves here. There's just so much power loaded into this first phase of the draft because of what we've seen in the bans, and the fact that Rise taken away very early on, Aphelios just removed from this draft early on as well. And on the flip side, it's like the focus on the Trundle pick. So these 3 picks, not usually thrown into the ban phase, but this time around, because of that, it's left a lot of extra things. And Machi, they actually don't go for any of those really big ticket picks.
True, and this has been Machi's problem on the red side. They don't really utilize those counter positions. They actually just go for the tools that they know they're familiar with. We've mentioned the Camille in the past, and also the Ziggs is still up here. So I think Beyond Gaming might take a very different track, straight going for the counters on the blue side, and not something you see in a draft phase much at all. And we do have Leon going for an old favorite of it in the Jax. Very strong duelist, but rarely seen these days.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to go ahead and pick that one up because of how early Machi have decided that they want the Camille. And Megabank Beyond Gaming even are able to secure themselves the Ziggs. So if you're looking at how this draft opening has been going, you have to give Megabank Beyond Gaming like a giant landslide when it comes to just how this opening has started out. And on the flip side, like Machi, they end that first phase with the TF, but if that happens, you're just gonna have to toss a bunch of bans in the second phase towards TF counters.
And that's exactly what they're doing, as Silas does hit the ban list here. Megabank Beyond Gaming, they have the bot lane to target out. Let's see what they'll go for. Kala has been known for some wonky champions. You know, we have seen his Bard being played in the past outside of just Kaiwing. He's also kind of a Bard player. But they will take away the Ashe this time around. And for Machi, they will then ban away the Syndra, another champion that's very strong in lane against the Twisted Fate. And, just looking at the draft right here, I feel like Machi are sort of forced into a pick composition. They don't have the side lane pressure against the Jackson. They don't have the scaling against the Viego or Ziggs. It's hard to see where they go from here.
Yeah. All I have to say is this first draft feels pretty doomed. They secure themselves the Leona pick here, but if you're the side of Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, you're perfectly fine because Machi are saving their counter pick for what? It is for their AD carry. There's no value. There's no.
Is he playing Draven maybe? That could be it. Atlan Draven, let's go. He hasn't played it this split, but we never know.
That's definitely what you don't imagine here. And also having still the Irelia available here, you could just pick that into the TF, or you just go for the Lucian pick. Like, there's just too many TF counter picks here, and because you picked this TF so early on, they're left with a Kai'Sa pick, and Kai'Sa's just it's not it. It's not it, Clement. It's just not it.
It hasn't been strong in lane this season, that's for sure. And looking at Machi's comp, it looks like they're just gonna double down and all in on pick. There's basically no AoE damage here. Everything single target. Good luck with that. That just seems like a really rough 5v5 to play. Like, I see Doggo just tossing out his ultimate and probably out damaging the entire team for Machi with one ability.
All I have to say is Machi, they're probably just going to be like, well, we might not have fun this game, but we're going to make sure one of you guys on the other side does not get to have fun. And I would assume they probably pick on Doggo, but I mean, Doggo, he's on the Ziggs. He's going to be able to scale very, very comfortably. And it just spells doom and gloom from this first draft.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. There's so many facets that just don't work out for Machi. We talked about the scaling element where you're going up against like hyperscalers, Viego, Jax, Ziggs. The only one that doesn't really scale that well, maybe Lucian, but I don't even think it's that bad these days. And then on the other end, Machi, this is a team comp with very low damage potential to actually finish off teams. Like, sure, they can get picks, they can snowball, but it's still hard to see them, like, even if they're ahead, it's still hard to see them win like a 35-minute team fight. It's oof. Machi has to have the best execution ever.
Yeah, GBN has to play like God is basically the summary of this draft. Maybe you get this Kai'Sa ahead here. There's definitely plenty of CC lockdown and dive potential when it comes to bot lane plays, but in this top lane it's very difficult to punish the Jax because of the Counter-Strike being able to dodge out onto the gold card. And when you compare these junglers, it's just no contest. Viego takes this matchup every day of the week, even though Lee Sin can have his moments. Those moments are few and far between. It has to be a win by 15 sort of style from Machi here.
I will say that the top side for Machi do have their most picked champions, the Lee Sin for Gemini and the Camille from Likai. So maybe that mastery can take over, but we're going to be peeking at the runes so far. Again, we're seeing Airy coming out from the Lucian. And we haven't seen Jax in a while, but this is his standard build, just going for the Time Orb Tonic and also the Conquerors.
Yeah, just plenty of sustain built in through the runes. Mawan actually not going for the... I forget what the scaling rune is, but Doggo has it. So if the game gets into late game, you know these Ziggs bombs are gonna hit. Yes, Gathering Storm. Yeah, Mawan instead going for a little bit more of aggressive flare. I think he has absolute. Oh no, he has the cooldown one instead. And yeah, this early game has to be pretty much picture perfect here. So keep an eye out on where Gemini is going. He's starting bot side. Of course, he's going to finish top side. That's no surprise. They just don't play for bottom lane. However, this is a lane that needs to be played around. It's the Leona and it's the Kai'Sa. You have to snowball.
This is a very good kill lane, I will say that. Koala pops his head outside of the brush and instantly punished by Doggo. Kino holding on to his abilities and they are gonna walk into this lane late, but perfectly fine. Actually, pretty damn well played. Coming in from Dago and Kino here. Out trading, not taking damage, keeping the Guardians there. But Dago, just as I say that, will get a taste of the Kaisa plus Leona combo. We have seen this a lot in the LPL. It's just the Q works so well with the Sunlight stacks. Icathian Rain coming out.
Yep.
So it does a lot of burst damage here.
Still, it's very hard to punish a Braum lane as a melee support at level 1, given the fact that the moment you do go in, there's a lot of turn potential, even with a low attack speed carry like Ziggs. And they're going to be perfectly fine here. This is a bit of a different take coming in from Dago, and the fact that he hasn't really played a whole... I think this is his first Ziggs game, so he hasn't played this champion at all.
Usha with a massive mistake here. He actually resets the Krugs, trying to do this SOFM 2 camp clear, and wow, that's a lot of wasted tempo.
Wastes a little bit of time, but he still gets the entire side cleared. It just prevents him from taking a peek up top side before he goes over to that crab. So
the Gromp reset for 1000 HP, so
yeah, it definitely looks
it's definitely feels bad early on. As he still has the level lead here just because of the leash, and Usha coming in, willing to share the Raptor camp with Gemini. Gemini, on the other hand, probably not too happy about this one, but there's nothing much he can do as Lucian's also around this corner. No smite from Usha, so he will hand this over to Gemini at the very end. Gemini should be able to tick over to 4. And I guess we're fine now as Likai getting a good trade into the tower is actually close to proxy farming at this point. Very interesting what's happening in the top side. And Koala's going to swing around to help this scuttle take.
One of the interesting things is the fact that if you look at that top lane summoners, neither of these players have taken the Ignite, which usually is one of those summoners that you take to try and swing the matchup more heavily in your favor, especially for the Camille. And Liang looks like he's perfectly fine playing towards tower here. Likai, I mean, this is why this is his most picked champ. He's very, very comfortable on this champion. And he can certainly do some really cool things on the champ. It's just... it's still a tough task.
It definitely is. Jax really does counter Camille starting post 6. You get the counter strike, as we mentioned. It does block out precision protocol, so there's not a whole lot that Likai can do to Jax later on in the game. But for now, you know, he does have a lot of different tools that he can use, has a range advantage, and is just going to force an extra TP out coming in from this Jax. You have a pretty decent freeze position from Liang, though. And, yeah, well, not even going to lose anything to tower. Okay, once I said it, he started losing stuff to tower, but this is still an okay lane position.
Yeah, this is a very good lane position. If he's able to hold on to this wave right here, it really prevents him from getting aggressed up upon in a minute when G-Man does hit level 6. As Mawan has ticked 6 himself, this is where things will get real spicy in the mid lane because you are going to have that extra kill threat from the Lucian if G-Man ever blunders his lane.
Well, we do have Leon coming in with the level 6, just punishing Likai, but Gemini is around the corner. And Leon doesn't overstep. It does feel like both junglers have a sense where each other is on the map. Usha has been spotted, so he could be in dire straits if he ventures too far. Not gonna happen though. Now G-Man is coming up to level 6 with the Destiny Gate. He will be spotted though. Let's see if he finds an angle into the top lane. Doesn't look like it just yet as Likai is gonna go in. G-Man comes down with the gold card. Leon popping the counter strike and flashes, but still will get stunned out. Takes the jump out. Coming in with the stun, but not enough to save him. It just felt like, unfortunately, Beyond Gaming, even with all the information they had on the map, were unable to prevent Twisted Fate from happening.
That... I don't know how to really explain that one. Biang has really no business walking up with the wave here, especially without Viego in the area to help him crash that wave. And it's just a lot of hubris coming in from Liang. There's really nothing else to say besides that, because Jimian was on a ward. If he leaves, there's no one else but to blame but yourself.
Yeah, it definitely felt like he just didn't want to get frozen on, and I don't know, that was a weird play coming in from Megabank Beyond Gaming. They clearly had vision of the Twisted Fate. We just had Mon use his culling on Jimian, forcing a recall, and that is going to open up a beautiful opportunity to Husha to take down this first Drake. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it's been a while since we checked in here, but Doggo coming up with a pretty decent CS lead. We are coming close to 6, which is usually where the burst potential does come out.
Yep.
Haven't seen Koala's bar just yet. Oh, that's so close to death.
Yeah, now
Koala flying in and
himself.
trying to get some damage back onto Doggo. It's not really enough here, as Alan is not going to be joining back onto the fight. Leon pops over, sees Gemini, and has to walk back without any fruit.
That was a bit of a jump scare moment coming in from Liang. I'm actually surprised he didn't jump onto Gemini, but Machi, they're turning towards this Rift Herald here, and this is exactly what both of these teams do like to do. Rift Herald timings, usually Machi try and take Herald at around that 10.5 minute mark. Beyond Gaming, they target it at around 12, so the priority is vastly different. And when it comes to these Dragon timers, it's the opposite. Beyond Gaming, they like to get Dragon by 10 minutes, but
Gemini does get the Herald and gets out easily. No flash needed right here. Unfortunately for Kino, he does roam here as well, but isn't going to find anything. Let's see if Beyond Gaming want to make this trip worthwhile, as Husha is now hunting for Gemini. Gemini could just die to the Heartbreaker, so yeah, he's not going to chance this, as he does go back, and we see Lee Kai backing out as soon as that happens as well. Looks like Megabank Beyond Gaming, even without the Herald, they're trying to make the trip top lane, and Lee Kai's getting kind of nervous up here. We do have Koala still standing around, but he's very low HP at this point. Jimmy also going to take the back end of that Piercing Light.
Yeah, so far, not factoring the extra plate gold that you're going to be able to get from using that Rift Herald. The gold's pretty much even. You get 100. Oh, okay.
It is going to be a straight up 3v3 here, as Lee Kai just shoos away Liang and Husha. They did have Kino in the back line, but it was spotted out by the Destiny Gate, so most of that does fizzle, and it looks like Beyond Gaming are still pretty content on holding both of their carries in this mid lane. Interesting strategy. They do have a lot of wave clear here. Let's see if they can make use of it, as the 3-man squad does go over. Just drops the Mega Inferno Bomb onto Jimian and forces him away. There is no answer right here. Jimian doesn't really have to wave clear to deal with the cannon minion, as Koala tries to go into melee range. Jimian playing great dodgeball. But this is looking rather dire, as Beyond Gaming do take down 2 plates. Jimian about to get his TP up, but still has to hang around for now.
How do you ever get to play the game if you're the side of Machi? Right when they looked for that TF ultimate, well, first, once he channeled it, he saw that there were already 3 members up top side, and second, Maoan immediately just opens up onto him with the culling, and he just takes Jimian all the way down to 30-40%. So even if he takes the ult all the way up there, it's going to be very difficult.
Gemini coming in onto the back line. Doggo gets instantly bursted down.
But Viego's
coming in to pick up the pieces. Heartbreaker right down, 1-for-1 traded in.
Possibly
Kills going over to Viego and Kaisa respectively, as Husha still looking for it. He's not going to land the Sonic Wave. Not a real Lee Sin, I say right there. And overall, Machi still hanging on to the gold lead.
Machi hanging on to the gold lead, but still, Megabank Beyond Gaming perfectly comfortable with where this game is at. As the gold's mostly going to come from the fact that they have that extra kill, and also the TF passive ticking up here. Even if you look at, more damage coming down. This is why you just don't play TF into Lucian, or you just don't early pick TF.
You don't try to, at least. We are going to get Malwan with the first one on Mythic this game, just coming up on and opening up on Twisted Fate. In the meantime, Atlan with all that extra gold will get the Gale Force as well. So we're starting to have a lot of burst potential in both of these lanes. Yep. Let's see if Leon can dodge out on this gank. Gemini's still unspotted so far, but Husha is coming in. So Likai, let's see if he gets the bait here. Gemini just going to show himself directly and drop down the Herald. Now I'm going to get some free autos on that one. Herald should charge in, but should be able to take down this full tower. See the gold distribution even split between Likai and Gemini just heads back to clear.
And really, the plates that they got there was just matched in that mid lane when we saw Doggo and Mawan just siege down that mid tower. And even in this bottom lane, Doggo is just easily able to farm out these plates in this bottom lane, and he's very, very close to being able to shatter that bot tower as well. So Rift Herald not able to secure first tower is going to be massive here. Now Claw is going to get collapsed on.
Does dodge out on the Winter's Bite, will walk out completely fine. But Beyond Gaming look like they're about to start this Drake stack, as Gemini is now down to help. This tower is not long for this world. The Satchel Charge will just take it down. Let's see if Doggo goes for it right here. Drops the ultimate, does tack out on Atlan, but doesn't hit the center necessarily. They're still in perfect position to just make this play go all the way through, as Gemini now is spotted. We do have the warning pings out.
Yeah, word spots that someone is there, and given where everyone else is, it's pretty easy giveaway that it is going to be Gemini. G-Man also was posturing to help try and answer that bot play, but now that turret plates have fallen, it is going to be easier.
Could have a surprise for Mawan here. Does not land the hook shot.
Good respect.
We have Mawan flashing preemptively. Yeah, I've got to say that's definitely the right play. As Gemini is around the corner, does get the catch onto Husha, but that's a blue card, so no stun. And
TSM Reggie?
Heartbreaker's out there.
TSM Reginald? Is that him?
Regian? Is that what we call him?
But
yeah, he was trying to hold on to that gold card for quite a while, but didn't lock it in, interestingly enough. A mechanical mistake right there.
Yeah, I would assume that.
Or maybe he just needed mana.
It might have been him about to time out onto his card, so he just locks in whatever is available for him to get at least the bonus damage. And yeah, Gemini behind Husha, that's going to be the big difference here. You can see a Mythic already completed for Husha, and on the flip side, Gemini, he's down 30 CS, and he should have Portracker soon, but it's still definitely a big difference in combat potential at this moment.
For sure, as we do have Mega Big Beyond Gaming taking away the second Herald and forcing fights ever closer to Machi. Machi, on the other hand, trading away the entire top side, and there's not much that Leon can do this game. It feels like he's being put behind quite purposefully. Jax is still not completed with his first item, and that's not going to be a Mythic either. It will just be the Blade of the Ruined King, a much better duelist item, but definitely kind of a slow start for the Jax. Smawn gets his base back interrupted, and now Machi are already transitioning into a very early 1-3-1, which is being matched by Doggo and Kino.
Yeah, the big thing here, of course, is even though Jax is sort of being put behind, if you look in the CS differential, it's not really that large of a gap. The money differential is just coming in from the fact that you have those extra plates coming in topside, and also the extra tower gold from that being taken down. So Liao is still in a very comfortable spot here. Not a big level deficit either. So all across the board, Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, it's a bit of a slow game by their standards, at least in this split, but still very, very comfortable position with how much scaling is built into their composition.
All three lanes ahead right now. Likai gonna open his weapons up against Liang, but not really going to find a good angle of attack here as Leon just walks away. Quite happy with what he got right there. And Machi, they're the ones that need to pick up the tempo, and they're not been able to do it so far. Beyond Gaming's perfectly content to just farm alongside with them. We'll have to see if this Everfrost will change the equation as we have G-Mian coming back onto the map here. Mon might be the target as he walks past Koala. Let's see if the Destiny Gate can find him. Comes down with the gold card, but Husha is there too. And G-Mian just getting opened up upon. The culling dealing lots of damage. Gemini will block most of that. Husha falls down. Great pick from Machi in the very end there. And we do have a TP from the top laner coming in from Jax. A lot expended for Beyond Gaming. Coming out with the L.
Really good pick there coming in from Machi. This is exactly what this composition needs to do. And with that Rift Herald, they should be able to also secure that bottom tower. Mawan, you see, just not a whole lot of places to go, but they just fully capitalize on the little bit of over-aggression coming in from Husha. But now in this bottom lane, Jack's going in.
Yeah, very close to just taking down Jimmy and Gemini there to stop it from happening. And the stasis pops through. Machi once again pick up another kill. Jimmy, are you looking at the map? Oh, the arcade takes him down. Great Comet play. And unfortunately for G-Mian, it wasn't able to get out of dodge in time. Of course, it does show up a little bit later from his perspective. Yep. So, wasn't able to get that one down. Lee Kai still pushing in. Good one-for-one trade, but once again, this Jax is getting put behind.
Yeah, Jax this time around, he does indeed die here, as they are able to get gold card, and Byung, he's just been punished twice now, with just being super over aggressive. The first time he comes in and alright, G-Mian probably caught window shopping there.
Yeah, even though it shows up late on his screen, he definitely wasn't looking.
He was on the very edge of it. He only takes a couple steps out and then he's out of that range. But yep, definitely caught window shopping in that regard. And Liang, he needs to tighten up this play, because if he keeps getting caught out here, that is going to prevent Megabank Beyond Gaming from perhaps taking some of these other plays. But maybe if they're able to trade out Baron, that'll be worth it. Unfortunately, it's not quite 20 minutes yet, and the next point of attack will be this Mountain Dragon in 30 seconds, although Doggo...
Oh, we do have Kola coming in with the Solar Flare, does land everything. Doggo forced to flash away.
Decent disengage.
And G-Mian landing as well, but kind of caught in the middle of nowhere. Heal used to protect G-Mian as he bops and weaves away around that Mega Infernal Bomb. Will get out of the situation, but that's G-Mian flying down, not releasing a single ability, and having to be forced back to base. Should open Beyond Gaming to a very easy Drake, as Luka has to pop over the wall as well. Half HP already. We have the TPs from G-Mian. Let's see if they can stop this third Drake from going down, and for Beyond Gaming to reach Soul Point. Gemini trying to find the angle in. He does have the smite. Let's see if he can find the way in here. Is not going to take it, and Megabank Beyond Gaming coming up with 3 Drakes. Now chasing for the team fight. We do find the stun onto G-Mian, but in the backline, Doggo just dies to the collapse from Alan on the backside. Burst damage way too high. Husha, the next target here, and Liang will go down too. Oh no, but he does get the counter strike beforehand, and he does survive. Heartbreaker into the backline. Husha still full HP. Can they finish this one up? Alan trying as hard as he might, and they don't get the reset. Jimmy walks away with less than 50 HP. Machi get the ace.
Machi get an ever so critical ace in that fight, and somehow the ping composition was able to find the team fight, and it really just comes down to being able to bop Doggo very early on. Beautiful flank angle set up by Machi, and what makes Machi a different team compared to a lot of other teams is that they are willing to set up these flank angles. They are more than capable of setting it, and the big thing was they really need to find the time to secure Baron, because with this very split push focus composition, that's what you need to do to be able to really amplify your push capability, the threat of pick on the side lanes. However, unable to do so, is going to kind of let Beyond Gaming continue scaling up here.
Yeah, we did see Doggo interrupt with the Mega Inferno Bomb, force all members of Machi away, and that does give them a tempo lead. I still want to go back to that team fight, though. Lee Sin might be blind, but Gemini has his eyes wide open. He kicks Husha away and out of the path, and then clears the way for Sonic Wave on Doggo. That was so sick to see. Doggo gets instantly popped afterwards, and in that fight, too, Lee Kai picked up a triple kill. Both of his hook shots went straight on backline carries. That was pretty insane, and this is the thing about Machi Draft. They don't really utilize counter picks, but they're so good on their pocket picks that oftentimes it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just really comes down to a lot of brute force tactics. And Lee Kai able to execute around this time around.
Destiny Gate now coming directly into the bot lane.
Here we go.
Once again, Stasis being used. Oh, Sonic Wave just a little bit off, and
Protect the
Doggo
president.
will survive.
President Doggo does survive that encounter, and I mean, remember when I said in draft, Machi said, hey, we might not win the game, but at the very least, we're not going to let Doggo have fun. And that's exactly been the message so far, as they kill him at that dragon fight, and then they just try and assassinate him right then and there mid lane. But now Lee Kai, bit on the run, Liang able to find some decent damage onto him. And now just going to the ramifications in 100 seconds, that's when the next dragon will spawn. Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, and if they're able to secure this dragon's soul, it is Mountain Soul. So it prevents a lot of the assassination potential from coming through from Machi Esports. So this is actually a really, really important soul, probably the best available. And Machi now, they have to execute yet another high difficulty fight.
Taking a look at the summoners here, they do have a potential target in Maoan, who still does not have the flash. Husha just waiting in the wings, trying to get something here, but this time around we do have to pay attention to Husha and his build. He has that Sterix gauge already complete, so a very tanky snowballing carry, and we saw in the last team fight, Husha was actually very close to just getting Reset City and winning it from there. This time he's going to be a lot more durable as well. Looking at the situation, there is a stacked objective, so Machi could potentially trade Baron here. It's a possibility, not saying they will do it. There's a lot of different ways to play the map given this situation.
There's definitely the possibility of just exchanging Baron for Dragon here. I don't think it's the ideal play by any means, but if Machi are kind of hell-bent on never ever fighting an honest fight ever again, then it can make some sense.
Koala taking a lot of damage here. The culling is going to be used, and he has to flash out and nearly just dies there. That was a little bit bizarre to see, as Doggo actually just lands 3 bouncing bombs out of vision.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
He was playing catch there, just making sure to catch every single one of those. And
now Gemini, the only one here to try. He does find the Sonic Wave, but oh, the interrupt coming in, and Husha will take that down. Gemini gets the shield at the last second to survive, but Mawan says, nah, you're not getting out of here. Just flashes over, and now Machi are on the wrong side of the map. League guy's got nowhere to go. He is just going to get interrupted. Your exhaust coming down, Hextech Ultimatum used. He's going to die for free. That will open up the Baron pings from Mega Bank Beyond Gaming.
But yeah, securing the top lane and the jungler. Of course, Lee Kai, the most fed member on the side of Machi, and this should be a pretty clear Baron attempt here. We'll see what Machi are able to do to try and stall it out. They do have G-Man on the side, and
Koala uses Solar Flare to go in, but Braum is still there, and Atlan's so low. He has to flash away. Even that might not take him out of danger. Very risky plays coming out of Koala. It's, I don't know. I guess marsupials are not the most agile of animals here. As Kino does just chase away Jimmy, and Gemini has a second chance at the steal, but Liang should be able to stop him here. Gemini doesn't even find the Sonic Wave just yet. Liang hops over the wall. Great play for him to make sure Mawan, oh, he's gonna survive. Actually, never mind. Lee Kai comes in, and Gemini gets the steal! What? He still gets the steal at the very end, a double kill for Lee Kai!
Oh my lord.
What just happened?
They had the opportunity to try and burst down the Baron before those members came in from Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, but Liang was just so hell-bent on preventing the steal coming in from G-Mian. I just don't understand. But we're gonna start with how it all began, and it was just Atlan and Koala going in really willy-nilly. I suppose they wasted a couple of seconds coming in from Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, and that actually made a big difference here in the fact that, well, alright, Kino instantly leaves, Liang, he's trying to run interference, and yeah, at that moment, like, Mawan, he just takes a lot of damage coming in from Lee Kai. Lee Kai coming in clutch yet again, and Gemini chiming in at the end with the Baron secure. Machi, they've got a lifeline. It's kind of short, but it's still there.
That was some sick play from Lee Kai. The amount of distance that he covered with hookshot and flash, I'm honestly surprised that he was able to make it into the pit from that distance, but he does find the angle, and Lee Kai Camille is truly something else. I think without his Lee Kai, those 5 kills, that game would be over by now. Jimian is going to get tagged up by the Cerulio's Grudge. The slow comes through, and he nearly just gets killed in the middle of the lane. In the meantime, Gemini trying to find something onto Liang, but it's a little bit too slow as the TV comes down. Jax is going to survive, and now Mawan looking for a kill. Lee Kai still very fed. Even with taking tower shots, Mawan cannot take him on a one-on-one contest. Usha gets stunned down. Everfrost in, and Atlan also here. He's still alive though. Kino with the hero shield, and Atlan is caught in the no-man's land. Genius, he has to flash out. Still could die here. Heartbreaker through the wall. Gold card down. Koala flies in to try and run disengage. Machi, they were so close to finding so many kills, but Kino with the hero save blocks so much damage. They all get out. Now Machi is on the run with 2 down again.
And this is why Mountain Soul is just so valuable in this game for the side of Mega Man Beyond Gaming. You saw how much damage Lee Kai is able to pump out, but unfortunately, the remaining 20% of his damage is not true damage. It's only 80. And that's why Liang able to just barely get out, and Baoan, while he takes a lot of damage, still able to survive. So then the collapse comes in, they try and set up a pick onto Huxia, but he's tanky as well with this Mountain Soul, and he lives by the edge, the skin of his teeth here. And he gets that first reset, and it's off to the races. It's just fight done. Pack it up.
Yeah. If you're gonna open fire on a Viego, you better finish the job, or he's gonna come back to haunt you. Exactly what we saw right there. Hookshot, unfortunately for Lee Kai, just a little bit short in that one. Unable to find the target and lock Husha up. Now it seems like an inevitability, but Viegos, we've seen from all regions in postseason, they always get fed. It's not a question of how, it's a question of when. And Beyond Gaming, they are staring at this Elder Dragon right now with Hamachi scrambling to find an angle.
This is really Machi's only opportunity to try and win up a straight-up team fight. If they have Elder, they will have the extra damage and execute power to punch through the Mountain Dragon here and Mountain Soul. However, it's for Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, it's about just taking the fight without that Elder Dragon started up or getting incredibly low to risk that 50-50. Make sure that these defensive stats don't get bursted through by that true damage.
We are going to get the Elder started, just to get some poke damage onto Beyond Gaming. I love when teams do this, just some cheeky taps here and there. Gemini will go in, and Alan is starting to take damage from the Elder Dragon itself. We have a wrap from Koala.
Yeah,
see if it works out, but he is going to go through 2 wards. Yeah, it does not look like Koala can find an opening right here. In the meantime, Beyond Gaming very happy to just sit around here and wait for the fight to develop. We're in a very strong position, especially with that Mountain Soul.
Yep.
We could be here for a while, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Likai's showing bot though.
And does prompt Beyond Gaming to start this one off, but once again, it does also just reset. We'll see if Liang gets caught out here. Hextech Ultimatum comes through. Beyond Gaming have to pull away from the Elder Dragon. In comes Destiny Gate onto the back line, but Koala is once again out of position. He's got nowhere to go. Has to flash over the wall, and Beyond Gaming could just look for the team fight turn. Mega Inferno Bomb used onto Gemini and Jimian. Take a huge chunk of damage off of them. Nothing lethal just yet, but Mega Bank on the flip side, they've taken no damage. No losses whatsoever.
Yeah, and
they are willing to
able
just start this Elder Dragon right now.
Liang's able to lifesteal a little bit, but now Teleport coming in on the backside.
Koala once again just going to be the first target here. Goes down without a fight, giving Wuxia the ability to use that Solar Flare, and everyone from Machi just scatters. They don't want to get tagged out by this one. It is going to come down to a steal for Machi. Let's see if Gemini can find the Sonic Wave angle. He did already get a Baron prior to this one, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. That one's going to be hard, though, as Beyond Gaming are so incredibly healthy in this one. Atlan still trying to get an engage angle. Jimin getting tagged down, and Liang is going for him. Atlan, in the meantime, has to run away. 2 carries on 2 sides, getting chased down, and they both drop. Mega Bank Beyond Gaming coming up huge in this team fight. They are going to go all in on the objectives this side, chasing down for the kills. It's going to be 3 kills. Gemini finally does find Mawan in the end, but Dago is chasing him down. No health taken on him. At least, Machi, at the very least, do stop the Elder Dragon from being taken as Gemini goes into scuffle with Keto. There's actually no one here to help the Braum, as Beyond Gaming is just going to go straight for the Juggler and open up on the Inhibitor. We'll take this one down relatively fast with the Satchel Charge. Kino just running interruption against Gemini. Kind of an interesting play happening here.
I don't think he bought enough time, though. It's not actually going to be the end coming in from Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, so Machi do live another day, and, well, it's time to go back over to the Dragon. Liang will secure himself this blue buff, which means that if he's low on mana, that's not an issue. He can just wait around for this Dragon fight once more, but we get to see the replay here. Dago, this fight actually goes long enough that he's able to get a second ultimate out here. And it's really just, again, it's very difficult to execute on this Machi composition, but we see Machi starting out the Elder.
Alright, it didn't work out for them the first time, but
they're just going to straight flip.
Oh, Wuxia does find the Elder, and now the executions are happening. Jimmy had already taken down, as well as Gemini. Koala, the next one on the menu. Atlan trying to fly in, but that's not the call as he dies too. Beyond Gaming wiped the floor with Machi without even breaking a sweat. I guess that's just the scaling game coming through.
Yep. Oof. After you secure that Elder, it's just, I think the side of Machi also understood there wasn't anything left to play for, and that will be Mega Bank Beyond Gaming just marching down mid and ending this game at 36 minutes. A little bit slower by their standards, but it was pretty clear cut.
Machi started this game 9 kills to 3. They were able to snowball off of the Twisted Fate. It got Gemini ahead. But in the end, as I say, it didn't matter at all. Or did I get the lyrics wrong? I probably did, but
yeah. You might have whiffed on that one. That's okay.
Oof. It's a really rough game here. I actually felt like Beyond Gaming made a mistake by not finishing the Elder Dragon the first time around. It just felt like kind of pointless to go for the mid inhibitor, but on the second fight, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it just really showed how strong this team fight composition is coming in from Megabank Beyond Gaming. And even on those the previous fight before it, they were able to set up flank angles, but this time around, Megabank Beyond Gaming didn't take as much damage before the fight broke out, and they were able to decisively attack the flanks. And if that happens, all of a sudden, instead of 5 people collapsing onto you, you're just taking like 2v1s or 3v1s out on these sides in smaller areas, and you will never win those fights unless if you have an enormous gold lead.
Yeah, it was really hard for them to get away from that one. You could tell Alan getting tagged out by Sorelia's Grudge on the right side, Winter's Bite on the left, and they both die instantly. You're like, it's just way too difficult of a composition to execute from Machi coming in game 1. And I do want to ask your opinion on this. Where do you think the game 2 draft is going to go after this game? You called it. You said that this was kind of a doomed draft from Machi, and it's exactly like you said.
Yeah, there was just never any air for Machi to get a breath in. They had to non-stop push the tempo, and unfortunately, because of the mid matchup, the Lucian was just so pivotal in shutting down what Machi wanted to do. They couldn't attack the side lanes because there's just constantly Cullings chipping down G-Man. So even if he wanted to make Destiny Gate plays, if he actually did, he'd be coming in at like 30-40% HP, and which you have the numbers advantage, but it's very easily traded out 1-for-1. So in the next draft, like, get the Ziggs, seek help, get the Ziggs.
Okay, we'll see if the Ziggs does come through right here. That has been the most banned champion against Machi overall, so I do like the idea here. Like, Atlan on Ziggs has been kind of the go-to. Allows them to wave clear, allows them to play for the late game, does so many things for 1-3-1 compositions, whereas Kaisa is just kind of a tempo pusher. And honestly, this game, Machi actually did pretty well. Like, they outplayed Beyond Gaming for the majority of the game, and then Beyond Gaming just waited them to die of natural causes and took away the W. So...
yeah, the gold lead was never enough from the side of Machi. As we get to see the post-game stats, like, the best it got was 3K, and 3K at 20 minutes is really just something to sneeze at when you have so much scaling on the flip side. So it was just very, very difficult at that point, from that point on. And at the 15-minute mark, which is exactly what I said, they had to kind of decisively win by, well, the gold lead was non-existent. And while Likai was able to pump out a lot of damage, he didn't get a lot of help from anywhere else.
There really was no side lane advantages, especially with Mawan's Lucian roaming around. He was a 2-item Sorelia's Grudge, and G-Man was like, yeah, I'm not split pushing against that. There's no chance in hell to actually win that. So, like, I have to say that this game, although it felt like a foregone conclusion from draft, Machi did play surprisingly well, just not well enough to get over Viego, Jackson, Ziggs scaling. It's
yeah, you're trying to
easier comp.
You're basically trying to climb the Great Wall with, like, I don't know, with no rock
like
climbing gear.
Yeah,
just got
it was like a free rock climb solo mission up there, and we are going to get the MVP here on Kino with the crucial Winter's Bite multiple times, and also the stand behind me that saved Liang in that bottom lane. Just always showing up clutch and just diffusing the situations where Machi could have potentially found a pick.
And this ROM pick, like, being able to set up disengage for your team, especially for Doggo, just makes a whole lot more sense here. A lot of times he's kind of put himself onto the Nautilus, onto the Leona. Just doesn't make as much sense for this team because of how much focus there is onto Doggo. Just protect the president, man.
We'll see if they continue to do that, as please don't go anywhere. We're going to be coming back with Game 2 of Machi Esports versus Megabank Beyond Game.